Problem 934 asks us about a regular hexagonal prism. We know the volume of it. They tell us that the volume is 2,546.13 cubic centimeters, and that the base of the hexagon, so the base of the prism, which is the hexagon, has an edge length of 14 centimeters. It's asking us to find the height of the prism and the surface area of the prism. Let's do it. So, first of all, I want you to remember that the volume of a prism is equal to the area of the base times the height of the prism. So, I know that my volume is 2,546.13. If I can figure out what the area of the base is and divide 2,546.13 by the area of the base, that will give me my height. So it is a regular hexagonal prism. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the base, or the area of the regular hexagon. When I'm finding the area of a regular hexagon, hexagons are the easiest ones to do because when I split it up, it creates an equilateral triangle. So if the edge is 14 centimeters, so is the radius. And when I go to find the height of this one triangle in my hexagon, I can use my 30, 60, 90 shortcuts to help me find the height. This length of the smaller right triangle here would be 7 because it's going to be half of the length of the side, also half of the hypotenuse because we're doing a 30, 60, 90 shortcut here. So the height of this little triangle is going to be the short leg times the square root of 3. So now I can find the area of my triangle. I'm going to do the base of the triangle, which is 14, times the height of the triangle, which is 7 square root 3, and I'm going to divide that by 2 because it's a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. Let's put that into my calculator. 14 times 7 times the square root of 3, and divide it by 2, and it tells me that the exact form of that is 49 root 3, and then if I hit, remember you can hit these little arrow buttons on these calculators, that will give you the approximate answer, which would be 84.87. But that's not the area of the hexagon, that is just the area of one of these 6 equilateral triangles. So to find the area of the hexagon, I'm going to do 6 times 84.87. So going back to my calculator, I didn't clear it out at all, so I'm going to take this full approximate answer, multiply it by 6, and I get that the area of my hexagon is 509.22 centimeters squared. Okay, so now let's go back up here. The area of the base is 509.22 centimeters squared, and if I multiply that by the height, I get my volume. So to figure out my height, I'm going to take my volume, which is 2546.13, and I'm going to divide it by 509.22, and I get that my height is 5. So the height of my prism is 5 centimeters. Alright, that was the first thing they asked me to find. Find the height. So now I know the height is 5. Now when it comes to doing the surface area, we're looking at this. Let's see if I can draw it three-dimensionally. Drawing three-dimensional shapes takes a little bit of practice, but if you do practice with it, you'll get better at drawing it. Just remember that when you're drawing it, anything that's in the background is a dotted line. Okay, whew, there we go. So there is my hexagonal prism. I have 2 bases, so to find my surface area, I'm going to have to do 2 times the area of the base, which in this case was the area of my hexagon. Luckily, I already know what that is. That's here. Then I'm going to have to add on all of these rectangular lateral faces. Lateral faces are just the faces on the side. They're the rectangles that connect my two bases. All right, there are 6 of them, and they are totally equal to each other. So I'm going to do 6 times the area of the rectangle. All right, what is the area of that rectangle? Well, we just found out that the height of the prism is 5, and we know that the length of the base is 14. So I can do the area of the rectangle will be 5 times 14. And I already know that the area of my hexagon is 509.22. And remember, there are 2 of them. There's the top base and the bottom base, so that's why I'm multiplying by 2. So now I'm going to go back to my calculator, and I'm going to do 2 times 509.22, and that gives me 1018.44. And then I'm going to do 5 times 14, that was the area of my rectangle, 70, and there are 6 rectangles, so I multiply by 6, and I get 420, and now I can add those 2 things together, and that will give me the surface area of my prism, which is 1438.44, and since it's an area, my units are squared.